At the G20 summit in New Delhi, President Joe Biden unveiled a US-backed infrastructure project to connect India, West Asia, and Europe with shipping lanes, rail networks, pipelines, and data cables. Biden's West Asia strategy has two parts: the continuation of the Trump-era policy of bringing America's two pillars in the region, the Gulf Arabs and Israel, closer to meet their common geopolitical challenges, and reassuring America's friends and allies that the US is not exiting West Asia. The India-Middle East-Europe corridor, announced at the G20 summit, enhances New Delhi's standing and seeks to build an economic corridor from India's western coast, through the Gulf, Jordan, and Israel, to the Mediterranean, bringing India and Europe closer. The US hopes that it could retain its channels of influence in West Asia, control the major shipping lanes, and reassure.
The Mediation Act, 2023, recently passed in the Indian Parliament, emphasizes the importance of alternative dispute resolution, ADR, specifically mediation. This act obligates parties to attempt pre-litigation mediation before approaching an Indian court, even without a prior mediation agreement. It aims to reduce frivolous court filings and maintain the confidentiality of disputes. However, concerns about compliance and genuine intent are addressed by requiring empaneled neutral mediators and imposing a 180-day time frame for mediation. The Act positions mediation similarly to commercial arbitration, encouraging parties to resolve commercial disputes amicably. It also highlights the importance of institutional mediation services in India, paralleling the role of arbitration institutions. Ultimately, the Act aims to reduce the burden on Indian courts and promote ADR.
The Indian government has delayed the 2021 census, which is conducted every 10 years, due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Restrictions have ceased and the state machinery is ready to start the exercise anytime, but the BJP government at the centre continues to withhold political clearance. Home Minister Amit Shah told the Lok Sabha that the census will take place after the 2024 general election. The proposed 33% reservation for women in parliament and assemblies is linked to the next census and delimitation. The next one will also be the first digital census giving citizens an opportunity to self-enumerate. The Registration of Births and Deaths Amendment Act 2023 that will come into effect on 1st October will help a centralized population register, electoral register, Aadhaar, ration card, passport and driving license databases.
The U.S. House of Representatives Speaker, Republican Kevin McCarthy, has announced plans to impeach President Joe Biden, focusing on alleged business dealings of Biden's son, Hunter Biden. This move is seen as a political strategy by Republicans to distract voters from the recovering U.S. economy and muddy the waters ahead of the next presidential election. However, the allegations against the Bidens appear tenuous, with investigations not yielding significant evidence. Even if McCarthy succeeds in impeaching Biden in the House, it's unlikely to result in a conviction in the Senate. The move may risk voter backlash, as it could be perceived as unproductive partisanship and a bid to appease former President Donald Trump.
On 10th September, Nurul Hassan, a young engineer expecting a child, was brutally killed by a mob inside a mosque in Maharashtra's Satara district. The violence was triggered by objectionable social media posts unrelated to Nurul, leading to a pre-planned attack on the Muslim community. Despite the proximity of a police outpost, the attackers targeted Muslims' houses and establishments, raising questions about police inaction. The incident is part of a concerning trend of communal incidents in Maharashtra. Nurul's tragic death has left his family in grief, and his pregnant wife Aisha worried about her future as a single mother.
Experts fear that Canada's soft approach on Khalistani extremists could embolden pro-Khalistan radicals in Punjab and outside the country. The Khalistan movement, marked by a turbulent phase of militancy in the mid-1980s, has lost popular support in Punjab, but security experts have been pointing out for some time that there are people abroad and elsewhere in India who have an interest in keeping the embers of the long-dead movement alive. The Canadian government's reluctance to extradite and deport terrorist operatives and pro-Khalistan elements wanted for their alleged involvement in cases of terrorism and other related offences could be a dangerous trend.